Hi folks, just want to show you how I think the best way to deal with custom fonts, what that's going to look like for you. So this is an area that's actually changed in the last few months, which is why I've actually had to kind of sit down and figure it out over the last couple days. So the first thing to know is I'm loading some other packages here that I'm using for plotting, but for custom fonts, really the most two important packages are going to be these two. Make sure to install these packages. And so if you don't have the ragg package or system fonts, go ahead and install those. Those just help. Basically, the process of kind of getting access to fonts that are on your system has been really complex. I actually need to update a lesson in the Going Deeper course, which you'll see actually refers on an outdated method that's become outdated recently. But the most up to date is to do this. So install those packages. You can just do install packages ragg, which I'll comment out, and then install packages system fonts. So my understanding is that system fonts helps to find the fonts that are on your system. Before you had to go through this complicated process of registering fonts with R. No, you shouldn't have to do that. And ragg just helps plot them kind of using those fonts. Okay, so I run that, I load my packages. First thing you're going to want to do is go to Tools, Global Options. And you are going to want to go to the Graphics tab. And you can see Graphics Device. This is basically what our studio is using here to display the results plots. Go ahead and select agg, which is the newer version. It comes from the ragg package. Basically different ways of creating plots. So yeah, go ahead and select agg, which will basically give you better results in terms of what shows up here. Okay, let me just go ahead and make a data frame. So I just made average weight by island for our friends the penguins. Now let me go ahead and run that. Okay, so I run that and it shows up here. Looks great. And I am actually using the theme Ipsum from HRBR Themes. I'm using the Inter font, which is a font that just Google Inter font, you'll find it. It's free. I have it. The important thing is I have it on my system, first of all. So I can use it here. I'm using the base family argument of theme Ipsum, which just sets the font for all of my, for the whole kind of all the elements of my plot. Oh, the other thing I might actually do is do family equals inter here in geom text, which will make those things, the text labels inter. Let me delete that. So it's subtle, but that's not actually inter now, I think. Maybe it was. Let me try something. That didn't actually do anything. Interesting. Okay, well, I thought that would change it. Let me try, I don't know, Georgia font. I know. Okay, that actually did work. Maybe I just don't have Comic Sans. I don't know. In any case, if you want to change the font with geom text, you do family equals and whatever the font name is. Okay, so now the issue, so that's part one, which is how we deal with getting access to fonts with RStudio and displaying them. I'm pointing at my screen, displaying them here when we're actually kind of previewing them within RStudio. Okay, so ragg and system fonts help us with that. The second issue comes when we want to save. So we're saving this to an external file. Let me actually do ggsave here for saving it to a PNG. In general, I have had fewer issues with PNGs. So you can see I saved it and there it is. And let me bring it over. And yeah, everything looks right. Fonts look good. Cool. PNGs are what's known as raster images, which is basically for our purposes, what that means is you can't actually select text. And that's in contrast to what are called vector images, which I will create in just a second. So I suggest in one of the lessons, you might, if you want to save like high resolution, save to PDF. The problem is, a lot of times when you save to PDF, you're going to get that message. You can't, it doesn't save correctly. So like, let me open this up and show you what it looks like. Right, so you can see the fonts aren't there. The thing with this, so the ragg and system fonts packages are really good for getting fonts working within RStudio, but they don't help with actually saving outside of RStudio. So if you want to save to a PDF, you need to do what's called setting the device, which is basically like the kind of external package, or I don't know what it's technically called, device that you use to save to a external file, in this case a PDF. So one of the arguments, like if you actually look at the help file for ggsave, is device. And it doesn't actually list it as one of the options here, but the device you want for saving to PDF is called Cairo PDF. Now, super confusingly, it actually puts it as a function. You can see it's got the open parentheses, close parentheses. Just delete that. And you just want the text Cairo_PDF. Let me run that. And now notice, first of all, it didn't give me those error messages. And if I open this back up, perfect. Now I have my PDF. And you can actually see, like if I highlight there, like that's actually text that I could select. I could like copy that into a Word document or anywhere else I wanted to. And the reason, what's going on here basically is it's embedding fonts into the PDF, which is not something that happens with PNGs, and that's why we need to do that device thing there. One other way that you can save using, if you have any issues, I've never really had issues saving to PNGs, that's been totally fine, but if you do, there's an alternative method for using a function called ragg_png, which is from the ragg package. It's basically just another method of exporting. So what you do is you actually do ragg_png and then file name equals, and you set the file name. And then there are a bunch of different options, height, width, unit. You can select, res for resolution. I didn't do any of that. I just kept the defaults. So you just run that first before you actually make your plot, and then kind of in the middle, I'll even like indent this to show you, you basically run the code for your plot. So like I run that, it doesn't actually preview, and then you just type, you have this dev.off, and what that does is at the end, when you do that, you now have a file that is, I just saved this, penguins plot agg.png. All right, so that's an alternative way. Honestly though, if you don't have any issues with ggsave, I'd say just keep doing that. But if you do, this is an alternative way, and I will link to the help file for that. All right, hope that's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.